A couple of things that I made and share with you a technique of how I made them. First thing we have here is a covered bowl that I threw. I guess it's about 12 inches in diameter. I'll take the lid off, and that's the bowl, and this is the lid. I drilled a hole up through the center there to let that heavy knob dry a little more evenly. How did I make the lid? I wish I were set up to show you on the wheel how I did that. Maybe I'll get around to that, but right now we just have to take my word I actually made that thing. And how I did it, I used something called a Pure and Simple bat system. I don't sell these. I'm not even sure I recommend them because I haven't had a whole lot of luck with parts on them. Most of the time they warp on me. Here's a piece. You throw it on the big cast piece of plaster that you make from the plastic mold, and then you throw the part on there and you let it sit, and after a while it'll release itself like it does on any plaster bat. And this one is released now, and you end up with a nice bowl. And what you have is this big dome of plaster. I'm going to put that back on there just to let it sit. That bottom of that big bowl of plaster gets this indentation in it when you cast it in the plastic mold. And this part is what you mount onto your wheel head. And it interlocks with the other piece. And that way it stays centered. You can also have a couple other sizes. A thick, flat one that you can throw a big bowl on. You can have these slightly domed ones that you throw dishes on. Again, it has that same bottom. I mentioned that I had a problem with warpage. I've tried to slab roll plaster or clay and throw it, and it warped badly. I think because the clay particles get oriented in the slabbing process. Then I tried just putting a lump of clay in the center and throw it as I would on a flat bat. That warped as well, but not quite as much. Finally, I read the directions and also talked to the manufacturer, and they recommended that you take the lump of clay and smash it out as you would a piece of dough making a pizza, and just between your hands keep flattening it thinner and thinner and bigger like a pizza until you get the size you want. Then put that on the bat and work from there. And I'm trying another clay here, and we'll see if this gives me better luck than what I had before. While I'm at it, I'll also show you a few things that I've been doing here, watching Simon Leach and trying his rolled rims, as you see on these pieces, and also his foot. A couple of stoppered jugs, small stoppered jugs, another rolled rim, and a couple small pieces. And down there is a larger bowl, and then some of Simon's mixing bowls. There's one there with the rolled rim and the pouring spout. And that's just a big bowl, extra stopper, another mixing bowl. With the rim. one thing I did notice, if you look at the bottom of this, if your bottom is too heavy, although this one doesn't feel heavy, I've noticed on a couple of them, it sinks in. If you look at that, you'll see that it's sinking on one side. I'm not sure why, but it is. A couple more mixing bowls. And a couple more pieces there. We have a white clay and a speckled brown clay. That's the two different types we have. The only mystery I have is that foot right there, why it's caving in like that. Maybe the bottom was just too wet yet, and maybe I should have actually stored it on its rim for a while before I sat it on the foot. We'll see what happens when we fire them. It looks like I have enough for kiln load plus some more, including the big lidded thing I just showed you. That's it. Take care.